Oh, wait for the fourth. Ally? Yeah.
Really ridiculous.
It's all a patience
Louis
game.
Dash kick.
Or not.
I have never.
way I came up with Rebirth is, like I said, it was my coming back to TOing after a few months of hiatus. Smash 4's out. We're on the Wii U now. I need to host something to show that I'm back. And I just created a tournament. I'm like, you know what? Rebirth. Because this is me being reborn from a Brawl TO to a Smash 4 TO.
My first Rebirth was the very first one. I can't specifically remember the tournament, but I'm almost positive that I was at the first one. And I've been to almost all of them.
Been to Rebirth 7, 8, 9, and then this one's a 4. 4 Rebirths.
Rebirth 3 was my first one I went to, so this would be my 8th at this point.
First Rebirth was Rebirth 2 back in 2015, and I have been to, out of the 10, I believe I went to at least 7 or 8.
My first Rebirth was the first Rebirth. I don't know exactly when that was, but it was pretty early on, early 2015, and I've been to all of them.
Rebirth 2 was my first one, and I've been to all of them except the first one. Rebirth 2, which is the first Smash 4 tournament I streamed. It was like the first time I came back into the Smash community to stream again. And there's, I think, like 82, 84 people. And I was just like, whoa, we never got like this many people like ever, unless like it was a national. So to see this for like a monthly, like 5 months after the game came out was really cool to see.
There's been so many great Rebirth moments that like, I don't know if I can narrow it down to like one single Rebirth was like my favorite.
Rebirth 8 was probably my favorite. That was when Larry Lurr came over from SoCal. And that was during the peak of like the Zanotto versus Larry rivalry, because Larry was beating Zanotto whenever he would go to the West Coast. And then Zanotto took a set at CEO in Florida. And so they were like 1-1 in recent sets. I'm like, you know what? I'm bringing Larry to Rebirth to make Zanotto put himself over on the set count. And then Zanotto did, but then he lost the tournament. He won in winner's side of Grands, and then I think lost through losers or something like that. So Larry ended up being 3-2 over Zanotto. I was like, no, so close.
I'm pretty sure that Rebirth 8 was the one where Zanotto had to fight Vinny.
When they came here, I was hopeful that the Michigan scene would just kind of accept them into, you know, just this area. But we had really good sets. People weren't really that biased towards me, even though, like, you know, they were the invaders. And they had a really good time, and we got to like hang out and take pictures and stuff. It was really nice.
Rebirth 7 and 8, I definitely are two of my favorite like monthlies regionals I've ever been to in Michigan. It even tops my experience at Big House 6.
So there's a Rebirth, and I don't remember which one it was because they all kind of blur together, but there was one where we had a few out-of-state threats, and Seth beat them all, and he ended up getting like 3rd or 4th at the tournament. And any time that I can stand behind Seth and, you know, root him on, watch him succeed, it's always really good. I think the response that most people would give Rebirth 5 was, I think it was 5, was the one that Zero showed up.
Rebirth 5, I love Rebirth 5, and I'll tell you why I love Rebirth 5. It was in Ann Arbor at the Union, and this was when Zero was like at the height of his career. At that point, Zero came. It was amazing. Like it was over 200 people was there.
Yeah, Zero at the time was far and away the best in the world. That was during his however many tournament win streak, like 100+ tournament win streak he went on. Once people heard that Zero was coming, everybody in Michigan went to that tournament.
We had people come from Kentucky, Ohio. It was so many people. The tournament initially only had like 120 people. Then like more people started showing up at the door because of Zero. And it was just like so insane, like Michigan in its prime, like it was just such a fun tournament.
I think Rebirth showcased what Michigan had to offer.
These rebirths are giving Michigan the exposure that we did not have back in Brawl. What we tried to do back then is really helping us. We're finding lots of better players. We finally even got Chicago to start coming out, and we're showing other areas that we have larger tournaments that other than Big House and stuff that people can attend to. So it's helping specifically Michigan, I guess, get their name out there a lot.
I think it's been a staple. I really do. As far as there's always been staple weeklies and some monthlies and stuff like that in larger tournaments, but I feel like Rebirth has been one of those consistent ones that everyone in Michigan recognizes.
Rebirth set the foundation for Michigan Smash on a monthly, regional, local level. It helped keep the scene alive. It brought new people into the scene, and it helped continue to thrive the scene. It helped people that wanted to not only get better or get in, it helped people get into competitive Smash 4 that had not been exposed to competitive Smash at all.
We actually had one reliable major event, seasonal event, whatever it may be, that people were actually excited to go to, show their improvements and whatnot.
Rebirth is that special feeling of oh man, there's a Rebirth coming up. I'm gonna skip this tournament, I'm gonna save some money so I can go to Rebirth instead.
Rebirth provided us with a regional that helped bring in some out-of-state players that helps really get us to meet other people.
I believe Larry Lur's been to a Rebirth, Salem has been to a Rebirth. One time they flew out DK Will, Vinny, and MJG from Nebraska. That was pretty big.
It felt really, really good because a lot of out-of-state players even looked at it and said, okay, well, hey, there's Rebirth. Maybe they didn't always want to make it out to a breakout or anything, but I feel like we always had the larger out-of-state presence at Rebirths than pretty much any other tournament series.
We'd have out-of-state invaders coming in, and they would get, one or two of them would come, and then it's basically you just throw that out-of-stater on for all his matches on stream, and you just see a Michigan player go after one after another to fight the out-of-stater, and you see they're doing good. So it was a way to just show the homegrown talent. And I really think it forced the state to step up what it meant to host a tournament.
If you were in the scene, if you were playing competitive Smash Brothers, you were at Rebirth.
I actually think that the Michigan scene is set very far apart from most Midwest scenes, or really scenes in any state that aren't on the East or West Coast. The only reason that Michigan even has the opportunity to compete in terms of attendance and event quality with the events that go on in those other states is because of what Pulse established, in my opinion, and also more specifically just what Ori has done. With Ori, it's difficult to say what his biggest contribution is because he contributes to every conceivable aspect of the community.
One of his biggest contributions is he kept the scene going. He's really always tried to build the scene up, not just for his own recognition or his own self or anything like that, but to build it up and encourages others to build it up as well. And so I think he's one of those driving forces in the lifeblood of this Michigan Smash scene. And I think without him, the Michigan Smash scene would be nowhere near what it is right now.
When I first started playing, Ori was a player. This was 2011, and Ori had been in the scene for at least 5 or so years at that point. So I think his biggest contribution, he definitely, in Brawl he was a player, but in Smash 4, I think without his kind of direction and take charge attitude to make these tournaments happen, I don't think the scene would have been nearly as big as it was.
Regardless of how many people throw a hissy fit about anything, it's just listen here guys, this is why I do things, this is how we're gonna do things, and you're gonna put up with it because I'm the man, I know what I'm doing, I've been doing it for years, I'm not going to fail you guys.
In Brawl, we didn't have anything. Everybody was just just spitballing it. Just, I don't know if this is gonna work, let's just try it. But now everybody has a game. We know what like works and we know what leads into bigger opportunities.
Every person in Michigan, in the Michigan Smash scene specifically, who is tried to improve or branch out and focus on one part of the community that they really want to be good at. Like we've got photographers, commentators, TOs, things like that, all started with an opportunity that was presented to them by Ori.
He's gone out of his way to try and bring in out-of-state players and all like that. I mean, shoot, even with Pulse, we housed half the out-of-state players at his house. So I mean, he was constantly like, if you know, I remember times where he took off work just because we had an out-of-state player coming in the day before a tournament. And so he wanted to be there to show them around, hang out with them kind of thing, and make sure they felt comfortable prior to the tournament.
That's how I kind of got to know Ori a little more. He's like, good job today, like good stuff. I'm like, oh, the little TO guy, like the Smash dude is congratulating me, thank you. Like, and that made me like want to come back and, you know, get more involved in the scene because of Rebirth.
He just kept on building it because he knew what the outcome would be. He knew what the people actually wanted, regardless of their voice.
Everything I do, it's for me because it's a challenge for myself. But at the end of the day, I do it for everybody who's out there. Like, I just want people to go to a tournament with the expectations I would when I go to a tournament. I want to go there, I want to feel safe, I want to have a blast, I want to hang out with like people I care about, and I just want to have a fun time. And that's all I aim to do. And that's what drives me every single weekly, every single monthly, every single regional. At the end of the day, they're going to be glad that they showed up to the tournament. And so that's what drives me. It's just making sure everybody has a good time.